Hi and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. This time around I've done something a little bit different in that I have harnessed the power of AI to a positive endeavour, which is finding DVDs and Blu-Rays at charity stores. What I did was this. I asked ChatGPT to give me a random suburb in Melbourne where I live, and the idea was I would then go to that suburb and try to find charity stores which had DVDs and Blu-Rays in them. And it kind of worked out well. The place it gave me was Northcote, and unfortunately I don't have the screen grab of ChatGPT telling me that. I took middle-aged geek girl with me and we went out there. It was a sunny day, but it's still winter, so it's cold and a bit windy. And we cruised around. It's a nice place. There was a nice cafe where if you sat outside, they gave you blankets to rug up with. There were a few charity stores around. There were some random shops as well, one of which sold Japanese stuff. So we got some nice Japanese things, including a really nice hat for me. And we found some charity store hauls. So I thought that was a good way to use that incredible power of AI to make my life a little bit better and to not rip off anybody else. Some of the haul is from the Northcote raid. Some of it's from a few other charity stores around. And a few of the things are things I bought myself. So let's get started. This one I hear good things about. It's an American fantasy film, The Craft. Now, I haven't seen this one for a long time. I know it's about 4 girls who turn out to be witches. But beyond that, I really don't know a lot about it. But it cost me literally $1. So I'm going to try something like that for $1. Because why the hell not? I might get a video out of it reviewing it. Who knows? Next up, I've got another $1 one. But this is older. And it's one that I don't know whether I've seen. If I've seen it, I've seen it a long time ago on TV. It's from the 1950s, I think. And it's a movie with Ingrid Bergman, Kurt Jürgens and Robert Donat, The Inn of the Sixth Happiness. Don't know too much about this again. I know it's set in China, but beyond that, I have no bloody idea. But for $1, I'm going to pick up a classic. If nothing else, I'll learn a little bit more about classic cinema if I watch that one. And knowledge for me is worth $1 every day of the week. Then we go to a harsh Australian film starring a guy that went on to do other things. It's one that I didn't particularly like the first time I saw it because basically I was living not too far away from where it was filmed and there were some very rough people on the streets where I lived. Romper Stomper with Russell Crowe. This one again I got for $1. And I know it's been re-released on Blu-ray at least once, probably more times than that. But it's a good, hard Australian drama from, I think, the late 1980s or early 1990s, one of those two. Unfortunately, it's in full frame 4:3, so it's not widescreen. So I may well watch that just for the sake of watching it and then pass it on to another charity store. But until I can get a better copy of it, if I decide I like it, I'll use that one. That 4:3 ratio is a booby trap if you're looking for DVDs in particular in charity stores. This is a Disney movie which my friend Grant Watson swears by, even though I'm not convinced about it. And it's a kind of lesser, partly animated, partly live-action Disney movie which is trying to recapture the magic of Mary Poppins, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, with Angela Lansbury in it. It's really weird because this cover emphasises the animated characters rather than the live-action people who are in the background. And most of this is live-action, so that's a bit weird. It's hard to find some of these Disney movies on any other format and in a more recent version, so I'm going to go with that. No extras on it. Oh yeah, there are special features. There's a couple of cartoon shorts with Mickey Mouse in them, the Sherman Brothers song, and a Bedknobs and Broomsticks scrapbook, whatever that means. But yeah, I'll give that one a go and when I'm in the mood for it. Now I've got a 1950s Western as well, again for $1. These are all $1 until I tell you otherwise. James Stewart and Shelley Winters in Winchester 73, which I know is about a rifle, but beyond that I don't remember too much about seeing it. I tend to get James Stewart Westerns mixed up in my mind, except for Bend in the River, which is kind of unique. This one's got an interview with James Stewart in an original theatrical trailer. Is it in widescreen? Please tell me it's in widescreen. Yes, it is. It's in 1.33 to 1, so I'm happy about that. But for $1, I'm going to pick that up. I've got a ton of cheap westerns stored on that side of the movie room, and this one fits in pretty well with those. This one was $2. It's a Michel Gondry movie kind of a nostalgic movie and very much on brand for this particular channel. Stars Jack Black and Mos Def, and it's Be Kind Rewind. It's set in a video store, and the video movies all get wiped, and so the guys make their own versions of a lot of films. It's a feel-good comedy. It's good-spirited, and it's a lot of fun, and I haven't seen it for long enough that I think I'm going to have a great time with this one when I eventually put it into the machine. But this one was $2. For $2, a Michel Gondry movie is great value. Here's another one I picked up in Northcote. This one's got some special featurettes as well, which is kind of good, but again, $1. The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex, with Betty Davis and Errol Flynn, and it's got a good supporting cast. Vincent Price is in this one as well, and Donald Crisp. I haven't seen this one for a very, very long time. It's in black and white. It's in Academy ratio, of course, and it does have some extras. It's got Leonard Maltin hosts Warner Brothers Night at the Movies 1939 with a newsreel, a musical short, The Royal Rodeo, cartoon Old Glory, new featurette Elizabeth and Essex Battle Royale. So yeah, definitely go and enjoy that one. And the fact that it's got extras on it as well is a bit of a bonus. This one was only $1 or $2. I think it was at $2, and it's a cartoon series from a couple of decades ago, Aqua Teen Hunger Force Volume 1. Which is a lot of fun. It's about three friends, one of whom is a bunch of fries, one of whom's a meatball, one of whom's a drink. And it's one of those Adult Swim cartoons from back in the day. And it's a lot of fun. I remember enjoying this one, so picking that up for a couple of bucks was a no-brainer. Last of the DVDs I got, I actually picked this one up at a shop called Savers, which supports Diabetes Australia amongst other charities. And the sticker's still on the back, so I know it was $1.99. But I got a 20% discount because we took some things to the Savers charity store. And when you take things to them, they give you a 20% off voucher for anything you buy on the same day in that store. 2 movies, $1.99, good value for that, so it is still $1 a movie. Anaconda and Anacondas. The original one with Jennifer Lopez and John Boyd, and the sequel, which is called Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. So yeah, kind of turn of the millennium action films. The CG in it is, as you'd expect from something at the turn of the millennium, which is not, they're worth having, and I really don't want to pay more than this for them. So if there was a Blu-ray release, I wouldn't be particularly exercised to get it. But yeah, these ones I'll watch because nothing like it. You know, sometimes you just want an action film. Sometimes you just want something that you haven't seen in a while, so I'll pop that in the machine and give that one a go. This is not the best version of this story, and it stars Anthony Hopkins, Edward Norton, Joseph Fiennes, Harvey Keitel, Emily Watson, Mary Louise Parker, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Red Dragon. This is a remake of Manhunter, the movie where Brian Cox plays Hannibal Lecter, which I like more than I like this one, because I don't think Edward Norton's character is particularly someone we like in this movie, but it does have Anthony Hopkins playing Hannibal Lecter, and I picked it up for a couple of bucks on Blu-ray. I'll watch it, but I think I'll compare it unfavorably with Manhunter. Nonetheless, at that price, it was a good buy. And are there extras? Yeah, there's a bunch of extras. It was directed by what? It was directed by Brett Ratner, who is now somebody who is not a part of the Hollywood system for personal reasons. But I'll check it out. Don't think it was necessary to remake Manhunter, but there was money in it, so Hollywood did it. Now, these three I picked up for $3 each, so the 3 Blu-rays, they're a series. The 3 Blu-rays cost me $12. Not particularly in favor of the philosophy, let's say, of the original author of the novels upon which these are based, but I'll give them a go and I'll watch them at some stage. Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch in the Wardrobe. Got that one. And this is a chunky one, so I think it's got an extra disc in it. Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of extras on it. There's 2. Yeah, there are 2 discs. So I got that one. Got the Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. These was $4 each. And I got the Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. So I got all 3 of them. I might save them for when I do a 24-hour marathon. I think they're the sort of thing I could chuck into a 24-hour movie marathon for the channel at some stage and have a bit of fun with. Then this is a movie that I've been told about. Yeah, the disc is in there. I've been told about, but I haven't seen. Good crime drama, It's got Emily Blunt, Benicio del Toro, and Josh Brolin's Sicario, the first one. Haven't seen it yet. I got this for $4, and I will watch it. I know it's on a streaming service that I have, but you know I'm a physical media guy, and I'm always going to go there as a first approach. So I will watch that, and at Blu-ray definition, I think I'll enjoy that film as well. Let me know if you've seen any of these films and whether you recommend them too. That then takes me to the things that I bought. I'll leave that one for last because I like it best. So I broke open the piggy bank and I bought a few things. I got some deals at JB Hi-Fi for a couple of them, but the rest I bought from places other than Australia. I did get John Wick 4 because I've got the other 3, and I like the John Wick series, the stunt work and the innovative camera work, and John Wick as a character I really like. In fact, I like him more than I like Ethan Hunt. I've seen the new Mission Impossible movie, and for me, it's a good action film, but for me, there's more Tom Cruise than Ethan Hunt in there, and I can't really separate myself from the actor rather than the character, which I think is a weakness in this particular kind of film. Whereas with this one, I can separate John Wick from Keanu quite easily because John Wick's whole self is very different from Keanu Reeves that we know, as much as you could know anybody who's a movie star. But lots of special features on it. Got it quite cheaply. I was going to upgrade to 4K, but I decided not to. Save my money for something else. At the price, which I think I paid $20 for. Not bad. Then this is a recommend from me. It's one of my favourite fantasy films of recent years. And if you've ever played Dungeons & Dragons, you should see it. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which has Chris Pine in it. It's got Michelle Rodriguez. It's got Hugh Grant doing one of those great Hugh Grant roles. He's good in this one. Special effects are good. If you're a Dungeons & Dragons player of any time, you're going to love this because all of the fan service is there, and it does it right, and it does it in a D&D kind of way. Once upon a time, I was a professional Dungeons & Dragons player. Actually, I was a professional Dungeons & Dragons dungeon master, and I got on TV as well. But this one hit my sweet spot. It's got all the good stuff. It's got displacer beasts, gelatinous cubes, got everything you need in a Dungeons & Dragons movie. And I hope after the current kerfuffle with the studios not paying the creative people enough money ends, that they do decide to make a sequel to this, because I think this is one that could be a great intellectual property and a great franchise and a great movie series. It's got a lot of other stories that can be told within this framework if it keeps the same light tone but very heartfelt as well. So that's a high recommend from me. We already talked about this movie on the channel, but I decided to get a Blu-ray of it. And the Blu-ray I got is the French version, but it doesn't matter because you just don't put the subtitles on. Phase 4, the Saul Bass movie. I've already done this in my video about killer ants, so definitely worthwhile. This does have the extras in it, including the extended end sequence that Saul Bass made but was never shown. I got that for a pretty good price too, much cheaper than an English language print of it. It's region B, but I'm even going to rewatch that one again because I think I want to kind of dip into it with the high definition version of that replacement ending that Saul Bass did. But Phase 4, definite recommend from me. Then there's a TV series, which I remember liking from back in the 70s or maybe early 80s, I'm not sure which, doesn't tell me. There was an English crime series called Strangers, and one character, George Bulman, played by Don Henderson, was the breakout character in that series. So they did a series called Bulman. With him, he's a police detective. He's a kind of eccentric police detective. Don Henderson's best role, he was a character actor for a long time. He even turned up in, I think, Star Wars. Bulman is an interesting series. I remember liking it, and I like the character. So I'm going to dip into some episodes of that. And unfortunately, this is from Network, and Network has just collapsed as a provider of boutique British television and movies, which is a bit sad, but I'm glad I got a copy of Bulman before it became unavailable. This one I took on a punt. It's a 3-series of 1980s Yakuza movies directed by Yusaku Masuda, and I've been told it's good. I've had a few people review it and they've told me it's good. The movies are Most Dangerous Game, The Killing Game, and The Execution Game, and there it is. It's a 3-series from Arrow. Is it from Arrow? Yeah, it is from Arrow. And I know very little about it apart from the fact that it's a 1980s Yakuza series of movies. And I'm going to enjoy them because I really love Showa era Japan. And this is at the end of the Showa era. I've been told it's good, solid, gritty Japanese crime drama, and this is the sort of stuff where we need labels like Arrow to keep existing, because they're giving us these weird, quirky, and previously unknown movies from other cultures, which are great. There are a lot of extras, including commentaries, which will contextualize the movie for us more than just watching the movie. When I'm watching too many kind of movies full of white people, I'll put that in there and really enjoy those movies. I will argue this is probably one of my favorite 2 or 3 westerns. And it's now been released by Kino Lorber on Blu-ray. It's Will Penny. Charlton Heston's best movie role ever. He plays a kind of cowpoke who's aging, and he's riding the line in wintertime at a very large ranch. And there's a little shack where he beds up, but he goes looking for stray cattle in the winter and makes sure that they're safe and things like that. And he gets to the cabin where he's supposed to be staying. There's a woman and her child there, and he can't throw them out in the winter snow. And so a relationship forms between them. It's an interesting western. It's an elegiac western as well. It's very grounded and to a certain extent realistic. Now, there are also a bunch of bad guys in this one, led by Donald Pleasence. And that, for me, is a selling point as well, because Donald Pleasence is crazy in this movie. But it's a movie that's got a big heart. And it's the only western that I sometimes tear up when I watch it at the end of it. It's definitely worth having a copy of. And I'm glad that it's got a decent release. I do have a DVD version of it, which is basic at best. But I'm glad I've got this one. Cost me a little bit because it was imported. Fortunately, my Amazon affiliate links gave me a little bit of a credit on American Amazon, and so I was able to get it at a discount. But this is another high recommend from me. It's a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, you should. It was directed by Tom Grice, who is a superb director. It didn't last too long, but a really fine director. And it's got music by my favourite American film composer, David Raksin, which is very good as well. There's the back of it. But if you're into westerns at all, you should get a copy of this one. So there's the haul. I really enjoyed it. I've already selected another suburb to go and try to find some movies for a haul, using ChatGPT as a random suburb generator, which I kind of like doing that. It's a way of me using AI without AI using me. It's a lot of fun to just get it to do that. I could have got my Amazon speaker or my Google speaker to do that, but ChatGPT, I think, is a little more user-friendly. You don't get that robotic voice telling you things. You just get text on a screen. And I'm okay with that at this stage of things. I think it's a good haul. I didn't spend terribly large amounts of money for it, apart from the movies I bought new. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the haul there. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell. Let me know which of these you like. You can also support the channel by donating at patreon.com/terrytalksmovies. Next up, we've got Science Fiction Saturday, which is going to be a blast. And then on Monday, my time, I'm releasing the video where I look at the letters I and J in my A to Z Hidden Gem movie series that I've been doing for a while now. So until then, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies. Go and scrounge for some movies at a charity store and give them a bit of money for their charity. And I'll catch you next time.